it's no surprise that the 30th of September today, we're just on time to really explore remapping our lives. Yes, I've remapped my life a few times, you know, as you mentioned in the introduction. As a school teacher in London, I was just very dissatisfied with my work life. I loved the kids. I loved being an inner calling to be of service in a new way. And interestingly, I didn't know what that would look like. And I think that's one of the first things I want to share with people is like, you really don't need to know the exact thing that you want to do next. You really don't need to know what the new map is going to look like. I had no idea that I would go on to move countries, set up a coaching business, travel the world, now host clients on retreat here. I had no idea. And in fact, if I had been the one to come up with what I was going to do next, I don't think I'd have given myself permission to do something quite as courageous as that, something quite as glamorous as that. I probably, in my mind, would have come up with just another job in London. And so I think when we talk about remapping our lives, we really want to be gentle with ourselves. You don't have to have it all mapped out. But what's very helpful is that you listen to that inner call. I use the term wisdom. Some people use the term clarity. You might use the term desires. And that inner call generally isn't the entire plan. That inner call is generally what's pulling me forward, what's next. And so for me, back then as a teacher, it was, oh God, I want to do something other than this. I want to have something a lot more expansive and enjoyable than this. So again, you know, that's one of the first things you want to take into consideration when we're remapping our life. That kind of initially over to become a coach and then beginning to travel the world, seeing clients all over, and then moving forward to bringing clients to Italy. Beyond that, obviously I've been faced now with a whole new remapping of my life. And that new remapping has come through not a desire, but actually something unwanted. The death of my fiance very suddenly back in December. And so I find myself again in this place where I'm navigating the unknown, but I'm feeling a lot of certain direction. And so this is the second point I want to make for people is, you know, when we're remapping our lives, there is a level of uncertainty and unknown that is very, very unknown and delving into it that we have to embrace if we want to have a new life, if we want to move forward. And sometimes, like in the case of the death of Francesco, it's an unwanted situation where you're forced into a remapping. And what I notice about myself in this period of time, Anne-Marie, is just there's a lack of fear. And that really surprises me, that in the face of such loss, that we can have loss and we can have uncertainty, but that the fear is optional. You know, freaking out is optional. Getting yourself in a spin and a tizzy about it and, you know, screaming and kicking, wanting the past to be back again is optional. And I find that when I work with clients, the less they're in that experience of scaring themselves with their thinking, the more they're able to remap their lives and navigate the unknown with a certain level of grace, a certain graceful transition and movement, a dance almost. And it's not to take away from the terrible experiences that people are having today, whether they're losing jobs or losing loved ones or losing income. It's just to say that putting a gun to our head about the situation is something that we have learned to do, but it's completely optional. It does not help you remap. Now, many people listening are probably saying, yes, Grace, I know that, I do that, and I know it's not helpful, but I can't help it. Well, it's human nature, right? But the more we start catching ourselves, putting the gun to our head, scaring ourselves about the future, scaring ourselves about the change we need to make, the more we catch that, and we often catch it through how we feel, Anne-Marie, the more we catch that, the less inclined we are to be seduced by it.